My grandmother was a painter, Luisa, so for that I have a lot of the painting inside because it's something she really gave me about like as a passion. So I bring also into the dress and in my first dresses.
We can read, we can study, we can do that. Yeah, it's when you really jump in and just put yourself, even if you don't know what you're doing, you just try. You knew that you had an important day today, you wanted to feel a certain way, so you put on the dress that makes you feel that way. Welcome to the Style Awakenings podcast, where we explore embodying your full potential and designing your prosperous life through style. I'm Amanda Weil, a soul stylist and your host, and I'm so excited for today's episode. I am joined with Sofia Provera, an exquisite. Hi. Sofia is an exquisite Italian fashion designer who focuses on one-of-a-kind wedding and event dresses. And her gowns have been seen on the red carpet, on high-profile brides, and also just those who are really looking for that personal touch for their big event. Sofia's team of seamstresses and painters, so cool, painters, they all work together to create your bespoke gown. And what I really love about true Italian designers, what I've learned in my time in Milan, is that there's just so much craftsmanship, right? It's the quality, the tailoring, the love that is put into every single piece. And for you, Sofia, I know that it's so much deeper than just the dress, which we've talked about. It's really the experience, and it's really you getting to know your client's heart and soul and how they want to look and feel. So welcome, Sofia, to the Style Awakenings podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And is there anything in the introduction that maybe I missed that you'd like to share about yourself?
Your introduction was really perfect, and thank you so much for this beautiful invite. I wanted to be here into my atelier near my babies in order to do this beautiful podcast with you, because I think that one thing is talking, and one thing is also seeing and looking at effectively the dresses and the quality. When we talked together also last time, I think that we really connect each other because we really share the same kind of value. When someone think about dresses, they can be superficial at the first, but is very, very deep. And I think that the dress is also the personalization of the bride into the dress and of the client into the dress. So it's the soul of the bride into material fabrics and design that you wear. So.
Yes, I love that. This is why we were meant to be connected. And everyone, Sofia is in Milan right now. So
yeah, I'm in Milano in her atelier.
In her atelier. All of the beautiful gowns behind you. And I think that's why you and I really connected too, is really understanding that it is so much deeper than the clothes. And it's how the woman feels when she puts them on. And I'm so curious because you are like young. You are a young designer. How did you get started on this path of design?
I'm 27 years old, and when at first, some years ago, when I opened the door, receiving a new clients, they told me, okay, but who is the fashion designer? I say, I am. Because, being young, but I made more than 300 dresses for clients. I started when I was 15 with my first dresses, and then at 19 years old, I made my first bridal gown for a real bride. And so, in these years, I saw a lot of different needs, personalities, and different women, because every woman has their particular desire, needs, and they must find someone that can listen to them. And so that is very important, about also I think it's also a teamwork. Because when the clients choose me, I choose the clients. We choose together, because it's important to have the same kind of feelings of value, and to understand each other also, because they really open to you their heart, and they talk you about their fear also, and the inspiration, and it's a very process when you have hand and go in the process of make a very one-of-a-kind creation that can be for bride, because I'm very focused on bride and also haute couture. Like, for example, some weeks ago, one of my clients went on the red carpet in Cannes, invited by Pomelato with one of our creation that we make for her, very in a hurry, but because she really loves that and she has a desire.
It's so beautiful, everything you just shared. And I love too that what you were saying about, women have fears, and it's like, it's almost therapeutic. And I find that with a lot of my clients too, that when we're in their closet or when they're trying on pieces, like it's very therapeutic, and they're exposing themselves, not just their physical body, they're actually exposing who they truly are. They're exposing their emotions. And here you are styling them for one of the most important events in their life.
Yeah, and that's
I
I think it
mean,
was one of the most grateful things because I have a lot of different clients if they are brides or women that go in very important events, or maybe they have like private events, but they can choose every kind of designer from their budget, and then they choose me. And so I think that is very important because I think the important thing is that you do beautiful creation for them, listening to them and being humble and giving very high quality to them. And so this is I think is very important also.
yes, I love that too, because you and I style in very similar ways, that it's about drawing out, it's like pulling out of people their true essence, who they truly
Yeah.
are, how they truly want to show up, versus us telling them,
And
like,
in
oh, this is what you
particular,
should wear. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and also in particular for bride, there is always the problem at first because they say, okay, but I never wore like that. Maybe it's too much. I want to be something more in my comfort zone. And I always
Mm,
say, you are the bride. It's going to be your most important day of your life. So that in that day you can wear more. More is not meaning doing something which is not you. It's something which is you in your comfortable way, but with a little step more.
mm-hmm.
And so it's very when you make the dress, you always goes in a process of where you discover yourself more because maybe you think about something you never thought before, and some of your personalities maybe you're more entrepreneurial. Sorry. If you're more like lawyer or you do a very strict job,
Very
and
professional.
then
Mm-hmm.
when you're a bride want to be more romantic and material,
Mm-hmm.
so it depends on how you are, and so we listen to you and understanding how to create your soul into the dress. So
Yes, I love it. Okay, how did you get started on this path of designing? Like, did you always know that this is what your heart was meant to do?
well, we do usually when a client come to us, maybe has an idea or don't know anything. And so what I ask is to come before coming into the atelier to do a research, like on screen on Instagram, Pinterest, or whatever, in order to start to understand their desire, understand what they
Mm-hmm.
want, and not to arrive like, okay, I didn't thought about nothing. What you propose me, because I'm not my process, not saying to you you need to wear dress.
Mm-hmm.
My process that I help you understanding what you want and to take out and understanding how to have all this material to understand how to create a dress. So when the clients come to us, they always show me different screenshot of a neckline, a sleeve, a cut, a color, different things. And I understand that if she's, for example, she showed me 5 photos of a kind of neckline, and she'd say to me, I don't know which kind of a neckline. Is clear that the neckline is that idea, and from
Yeah.
that we started to try something and to say, okay, we confirm that this was your idea that you didn't know, but you have it. Or, okay, we see that this kind of neckline is not perfect for you, but this one is more, enhance more your body, for example. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's a very teamwork of different, we do different sketches, we try all the dresses, and we find also the fabric. For example, I explain you, I have here a little pattern of what we have done for a bride, for a special
Ooh.
bride, because when I met her, she had, I remember she had a taillero Dolce Gabbana, yellow and violet. And
Ooh.
so is a very strong woman in Switzerland. She's a very strong woman, and I know she has like four for company on head, so she know exactly what she wanted. And so she asked me the dress for the bridal gown. She asked me before in I want something in fuchsia or in yellow. So very strong color for a bride, but because she knew what she wanted, she was very knowing herself, and so she wanted that was very strong as she was. As I said before, the personality of the bride is very linked to the dress. And so it was a COVID period. I have a lot of embroidery fabrics, lace that are of that must high couture level that you can find. But during COVID, that color wasn't available in also less months because was everything quite difficult. And so I asked to my seamstress and embroidery, and also embroidery and painter, because she's focused on that. I asked to her, I found this lace, beautiful chantilly, please make some embroidery particular, because she wants something very wow. And we love to work with the precious stones.
That's what I love. I know, all the crystals.
I don't know if you can see, but this is not crystals like glass. This is stones. Is ametrine and quarzo citrino. In Italy is citrine quartz.
Citrine, yeah. Yes.
And this
yeah.
one. And so we made two different kind of embroidery. I don't know if you can see. Here is not handmade.
Yes.
Here is a hand embroidery, as you see.
Oh my gosh, with all the sequins. Yeah.
This is one, and this was the other one. You can see how it was beautiful.
Wow.
It's very, very...
Oh my gosh.
There is a lot of value inside this little piece.
Yes.
Truly handmade in Milano. This was in Como, sorry, but is here. And so I show her this lace. Then she saw another dress here in red, and then this one is her dresses where she married in, and then she gave me back. Because I cut the train, but I say, no, the train is too beautiful. Think about it, because when we cut, it's cut. And so now she needs to come here to understand together, and I show you.
Oh, show me. Yes. That's what I love. Everything is just
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Oh my gosh.
It's very wow.
That's stunning.
You see, I don't know if you can understand the quality that there is here.
Yes. Wow.
And it's all handmade.
Wow. I mean, that screams Italian to me. That just screams Italy.
This
I love that.
Is an example of what we can do, because the important thing is understanding the desire of the clients, also the budget, also the fear, as I said before, in order to understand how our teamwork can create the desire of the client that she asked to do.
So growing up, did you always want to create dresses? Like, was this always your dream?
I always had this passion, and I'm very lucky because it's not common that when I was 6 years old, I asked to the elementary class of school, I asked the sewing machine, and I have the sewing machine with the little paper with written "Happy Birthday" from first elementary C in 2002. So from that I started. When I was 15, I made my first dress that I have here, and I'm going to show you now. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so at age 6, you asked for your first sewing machine. That's, most of us were asking for like Barbies and toys.
This one was my first dress.
Wow.
And I was 15 years old when I dreamt this dress.
That's wild. It's beautiful. It's still totally in fashion.
It's hand painted. And so that dresses was the first I made it when I was 15 years, because I dreamt about these dresses. I had this passion when I was younger. And then I said, okay, I needed to do these dresses. I was very good in maths. And so, with the meters, understanding how to do it, but I didn't have any knowledge about making a fully dress entirely. My mother had a line, and when I was born, she stopped it. But when I was born, she covered my, how do you say culla? It's like when you are a baby, the
You cradled or swaddled?
maybe she covered that with the skirt of her wedding gown. And so it was very, very sweet. And so I always breathe this kind of air about fashion and about the craftsmanship, the really one, the really authentically. My grandmother was a painter, Luisa. So for that, I have a lot of the painting inside because it's something she really gave me about like as a passion. And so I bring also into the dress and in my first dresses. When I was 19, I made my first bridal gowns for a very bride, and I was so emotional, and also I was very scared because having such a big responsibilities of making a bride, and the bride that choose you and will remember you for all the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Is very grateful. And but first I saw, are you sure? I'm not sure I can do it. And I say, no, I trust you. My friends loved you because she make dresses with you, not bride, but also for evening gown. And so I, thanks to Francesca, my first bride, thanks to her, I discovered this word. I say, okay, I want to do wedding dress and haute couture dress, and to be near the woman that chose me for the important days.
Gosh, and as you continue to design, when did you start to realize the power in the dress, like the power in style and this kind of like deeper connection to how the dress can really help women show up in a different way? Like, when did you start to kind of realize that deeper connection, or was it always there?
I think this has always been there. There isn't a specific moment when I realize it, but of course, when maybe when arrive a bride or a client that is beautiful, but maybe her autoesteem. I don't know if in English is similar. The translation is
Her
about the
confidence
self.
or
Exactly.
self-esteem, confidence.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Thank you. And maybe the self confidence wasn't too high, and helping her, then there was in their eyes the light, and so that is very important. And I think there wasn't a specific moment, but with all the brides that and the clients that maybe has this kind of, and seeing her after happy, that's I think is one of very important power thing about.
What have been, you've been designing now for what, 13 years, 12, 13 years.
Something.
What have been some of your biggest lessons and your learnings along the way? Like, as you've grown, what have you really learned in this process?
I think that one of the important lesson for me, it was made by Elena. Where she is, and she was the premiere of my mother. She's now quite old, and is very historical because she learned starting when she was like 11 years going to the premiere, and now she's almost 80 years. So she saw a lot of different things, and I always went to her after university. I was graduated in Politecnico in Milano in fashion design, but I started in in the ground to
Yeah.
understand and to learn. Elena helped me a lot in this lesson because she has been a premiere of very high level, and she learned when she started to learn this word, because it's a word that you can learn from the hand, not reading a book. And
Got
she
it.
started when she was like 11 years old, and now she's almost 80. So she saw a lot of different things, and she told me this kind of value and how to do the real handmade in Italy, but the true one. So handmade, every little details with the really passion without looking at the clock.
That's beautiful what you're saying. It's the reminder that we can read, we can study, we can do that. Yeah, it's when you really jump in and just put yourself, even if you don't know what you're doing, you just try and you practice. And that's really the best way to learn. And I love keeping in mind the value of, as we've been talking about, the craftsmanship. Like, it's so apparent when you put so much love into something, and that really comes through in your dresses. So it sounds like that's some of the big lessons that you've learned.
Yeah, that's very important. Also to be one of the other person sorry, one of the other value that I think is very important in this is to be humble, because when you are in a fashion, you always dream, which is beautiful, but maybe you go more. You need to dream, but with the feet on the floor, and to know the sense of duty, or the sense of sacrifice, and the sense of being very precise and professional in what you're doing with love, and I think I'm very lucky about that, because I really love it. Like, also, if it was a hobby, I will do all my time here, because I really love it. And I tell you, one moment of the day that I prefer more is that when I finish all the fitting and I alone in the atelier. I never told to anyone. I took off the shoes in order to have the feet on the floor.
Grounded,
I
yeah.
put classic music, and I look at the dress with in all the silence. That's one of the things I prefer more.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So when I say the word full potential self, what does that mean to you? Like, if someone is being their full potential self, being their true self?
I think is that when you do something that you love. Confucius said, "Find a work that you love, and it will never work in your life." And I totally agree with that, because I think that also making being realized is also when you do something and you create something. Looking from a sketch, from a work that maybe was making from 1 year and more, into a dress that the bride is going to use for a special day, and to see the photo of the church or go to the wedding to help her. That one is very it it go deeply in my heart, because is when you put a lot of also your soul inside that. And so, yes, I think that is very important.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And then when women put on the dress, they truly get to embody their full potential self. This beautiful design that you guys have worked together to create, they put it on their body, and they become that version of themselves. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious, Sophia, have you always felt confident in your own personal style?
Well, I think that when you grow up, the style change, because when you're a little, it change. I'm 27 years old, so I'm younger, but in my life, of course, the style change and change with you. I think that the dresses is very important, how to you the one that you choose, because when you go to a very work appointment, you need to have like the jacket to feel more empowerment. Or, for example, like today, I choose to wear these dresses because it's very important for me. These dresses was the dresses of the mother of my grandmother. And here you can see now with the photo camera, but here is all handmade. But handmade, it doesn't mean there is the lace and added on sewing on the silk. All the lace is handmade, like in a very ancient making of this kind of working. And so I wanted to have this, because in like this I feel mm, near my grandmother, also the painter Luisa, but also because yeah, also I think also about that I choose this kind of dresses, because she give me all this fashion about the painting, but also because I'm feel like floating, so it depends on how you want to feel.
I love that. I love that. And it's the thought of like dressing in a certain way to create your reality. Like you knew that you had an important day today. You wanted to feel a certain way. So you put on the dress that makes you feel that way.
Yeah.
And
And you
it,
always choose that. Also, if you don't think about that, unconsciously you choose that.
yeah, yeah.
And you
I
very help you help all the women in doing that in a perfectly way.
Yeah, and I love the idea that a lot of times we do it unconsciously. We gravitate towards a certain color or a certain piece because we know we're going to feel a certain way. And then I think it's so beautiful when you learn to be intentional with it, where then you actually start grabbing certain things because you want to feel a certain way. And you realize the power when you put that on of like, oh yeah, like I specifically wore this little sweater vest today because I got it when I was in Milan. And so I wanted to feel like I was actually there with you, as
Oh,
if
you're
we were
so
like
kind.
side by side in Milan. So I'm like, what can I wear today from Milan to like transport me there with you? So I think it's really cool when we can bring in the intentionality too for it.
And you learn very deeply.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious if there's a tip or a suggestion you might have for our audience if they're working towards feeling more confident in their style, or they're working towards like understanding who they really are, what their style is.
Yes,
Do you have
that's
a
the
tip or
important
like a
thing.
step or something to share to help them on that process?
I don't have a specific tip, but what I can say that the important thing is that for every woman to listen to yourself.
Mm,
That's the important things, and also to understand how do you feel, and not only looking you in the mirror, but closing your eyes and feeling you. And also when I do the dress for the bride, when we are projecting the dress in the fitting, I always say, how do you like it? So do you like yourself to the mirror and the dress, and how is it? But also I make, okay, now close your eyes and touch the fabrics and tell me how do you feel, because it's very important also to really to feel you to feel um, how you are confident in, and maybe if you have something you want to cover, something you want to enhance, or maybe you have um, a wrong thinking about yourself, and I can say to you, no, you are beautiful. But doesn't if you don't feel it, sorry, but if you don't feel you in a perfect way, I can't say to you, no, my love, you are perfect.
right.
No, I need to understand why you don't feel perfectly in a moment of your life, because if I understand deeply, help I can help you to help you really to
Yeah.
be the most sorry the most important aesthetic that you want to have, the
Yeah.
aesthetic that links to your personality and to your soul.
That's what's so special about you is that you do ask the deeper questions. It's not just, okay, do you feel beautiful? Like, do you feel like you look good? You know, which I think so many people do that, especially when they're picking a wedding dress or a gown for the red carpet. They put on something where, okay, everyone's going to love this. I guess I'm going to look beautiful. Yet you really ask them deeper questions like, but how do you feel? Because you know that when they walk into a room and they feel a certain way,
They are radiant.
that's when they're the most beautiful, right? It has
Yeah,
nothing to
yeah.
do with the actual dress. I mean, it does, but it's like how they feel in it that makes them magnetic and that like
Yeah,
turns on their light.
it's very true.
Yeah. Is there okay? Do you have a favorite dress that you've ever designed?
This is a very difficult question, because all people tell to me every time, but it's like if you ask if you have children, which one you love more. It's very difficult, because for me, as I told
It's
you
true.
also before, they're like my babies. So
It's true.
I can tell you, okay, about the aesthetic, I guess something which is more simple, something hand painted, something embroidery cover. I think that one of my favorite aesthetic is the embroidery and painting in transparent. Sorry, embroidery and lace in transparency. That's the idea. But telling you one dress in particular is it's very very difficult. I can't.
I know there's so many beautiful ones.
Maybe we shine. Okay.
I think your favorite one is going to be when you design my future wedding dress. That will be your favorite one.
I would be so honored.
Down the line, down the line. And I also want to touch
But
on
I
something.
have a lot
Oh,
of bride American bride.
I know that's amazing because we want the quality and we want the one of a kind. Like you know, that's
Yeah,
what you get in Europe. That's why we
I
love
show
Europe.
you.
Show me.
I show you. So, for example, here we have three. One is she's Sabrina. She's going to be very happy about this podcast where I show her.
Oh yes, stunning.
It was very, very, very beautiful. And this was her original sketch.
Oh wow,
See it? With the fabrics too. And
wow.
then we created for her. And she worked in a very high level in fashion, and she made like New York and then Paris to the fashion week, and then to Milano here to the atelier to do the fitting, and then she went to Napoli to do the try the makeup, and then she go to Puglia to see the catering in the location. So it was like
That sounds
a tour of
amazing.
the world for this wedding.
That sounds perfect. I am ready for that. Oh, that's
Or for
so beautiful.
example, I wanted to show you also another bride, and thanks to her, we won also um, an award. When is she? Okay, she's another one. She's an actress of Los Angeles, and she married in Sorrento, Daria.
Wow. Sophia, this has been so wonderful. And you mentioned that you work with brides in the US, and so you work with anyone no matter where they are.
Okay, exactly. We can work. I show you also. She's Ciara, also from America. I don't remember exactly of which city, but thanks to her, we won a prize. Sorry, an award, and she, yes, look at how
Oh
she's
my
standing.
gosh.
And
That's
here was the wedding day when I went to her to help her
oh
dressing.
my gosh, the back of that gown. Wow.
And thanks to that, we won an award because we made some fitting in video call with a mannequin with the same measurement, and we do the video call like, okay, how do you like? We can modify this one. So we work really a lot on distance, and they ship also the fabric to see reality, and doing the video call when there is the sunlight, because it's very important, because you can see a photo is a thing, but when you touch it, when you have the material in your hand, you can really feel the soul which is inside, and the beautiful about that, and also the real color. For me, it's very important, that kind of different shadows of the white, because it's something happen that when you go to a wedding, you see the bride inside, the color is a things, and when you go to the sunlight, one white become yellow and the other white become blue, while inside is okay the color. So I always do this check, because the went is perfect inside or outside, and so it's very it's the detail that make the difference.
Yeah, it is. It's all in the details. It really is. You're very thorough. So someone can come to you if they want a custom gown for their wedding or for red carpet, and then you also have a rental
Yeah,
option,
I
right?
created is not here, is another showroom when we talked together some weeks ago, because I created this line which is called Dream Rent by Sofia, and is the first collection in Italy of unique pieces on renting, designed specifically for renting. And I create this because a lot of clients in these years told me, okay, your dress is beautiful, I love it, but maybe I want to have another budget because I want to do a big, a big holiday, a big trip, and I want to dedicate a small budget. I will not going to wear it again. So it's very difficult to desire. Also for the bride, they want the first dresses, the custom made, so very important one. But also, for important clients, they want a very one-of-a-kind dresses for a specific event, because it's very important. I want to make a wow effect. But also, for example, the same bride wants something more simple to dance after, and they want maybe something on renting. So it's very clever idea fashionable also, and beautiful because we have the same value of what we put inside in the about the kind of not the same fabrics, because we want the fabrics more important are in the atelier, of course, but beautiful fabrics with a lot of quality inside. We created this new line, which is for bride, for a ceremony, the mother of the bride. So it's more than 100 pieces I may create.
So for everyone listening, it's rental, yet it's also one-of-a-kind pieces that you're renting.
Yeah.
So unlike a lot of the other rental businesses where you're maybe renting something, but it's a designer where there's hundreds of pieces, these are
Exactly.
still one of a kind, yet people
Only
can
one.
just rent them if they have, different events that they're going to and they don't necessarily want to invest in purchasing. I think it's genius. And you ship everywhere, right? You ship to the States, you ship within Europe.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And also ship also in United Emirates.
Oh, okay, great. So for
Yeah.
anyone tuning in that wants to learn more about you, they want to see some of your designs, what's the best way for them to find you?
I think the important thing is to write me on WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp.
And so
Okay.
I call them immediately when I can, because on mail maybe I want the clients feel very in a friendship, because it's very important to feel each other, and not like on a formal email, but on WhatsApp. And when I can, I call immediately, of course, and so I understand what they desire and if I can help them, of course. And also, for example, on the renting, I have a lot of dresses, like more than 100, and for each dress, I know exactly the measurement of each dress in the breast and waist and hips. That was a huge work to do it, in order so we can do the video call with the clients, helping her with the measures, understanding the measurement, and then I can say, okay, this dress fits you. If you want, I can ship you. So
It's so
yeah.
personalized. Sophia, are there any like final words that you want to share that maybe we didn't touch on, or
But I
anything?
think we talked about different elements and about the word. But one thing I want to say that for your clients, your special clients, I will be so happy to do a free video call to talk together and understanding if I can help them. So who knows?
That's beautiful. So if anyone wants to take advantage of an amazing free call with Sophia to talk about
The
your dream.
important things is to have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the brides ask me the dresses like 2 months, 3 months, usually to making everything like very relaxing, understanding, okay, I want to do this modify because I want that, not because I needed to do it quickly. So usually for haute couture dresses, 3 months could be ideal. For bride, 6, 8 months. It happened that bride asked me in 2 months or 1 year and a half before. So of course, the more time we have, more we can do everything in a relaxed way, also for the timing, for everything.
Right. That's beautiful. So for anyone that is planning a wedding, you have a big gala coming up, something where you need this beautiful gown, reach out to Sophia now. Give yourself plenty of time. You can create a custom, beautiful, one-of-a-kind piece that you will treasure forever. And if anyone's curious about the price point or any of that, just trust that it's actually more reasonable than you would think. And Sophia's handmade, beautiful pieces are actually, what you were sharing with me, they're less than some of the other high-end designers that you would find where there's multiple versions of that dress. So everyone should definitely connect with you if they want something one of a kind and beautiful.
Thank you
Sophia,
so much for your time. It has been, I love it to do this beautiful podcast with you and to share a little bit of our world. But I think that also when you see it, touching it and try it, everything become more magical also.
Sophia, thank you so much. It's been an honor. Loved having you on as my very first guest for the launch of the Style Awakenings podcast.
It has been a very honor for me also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and I really hope you found value in this discussion. My guests and I have loved sharing and opening your eyes to the deeper impact style and clothing has on your life. And if you enjoy today's episode of Style Awakenings, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with friends who you know will also love and benefit from this podcast. The more we all learn to love ourselves and show up as our true selves, the lighter the world will become. Now go forth stylishly.